At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
Experience a progressive lens engineered with AI from Essilor, powered by individual measurements of your visual behavior. A lens personalized to you by an Essilor expert. Discover Verilux XR Track and enjoy instantly sharp vision in motion and seamless transitions from near to far. Find your local Essilor expert today at essilor.com.
This episode is brought to you by Global X. Since 2008, Global X ETFs has been committed to empowering investors with unexplored, intelligent solutions. Global X specializes in exchange-traded funds that offer exposure to the artificial intelligence ecosystem, including themes like data centers, robotics, semiconductors, and cloud computing. To learn more about Global X's entire suite of ETFs, from covered calls, fixed income, emerging markets, and more, visit globalxetfs.com.
Hello, welcome to another episode of But Am I Wrong?
Woo, woo, woo.
Woo, woo.
It's the last day of March.
March Madness.
March 31st. Have you been keeping up with March Madness?
No.
Woo Pig Suey.
Matsu.
We made it to the Sweet 16.
Oh, is Arizona still in?
I don't care about Arizona.
Our neighbor is a big Arizona fan. So
I only care about Arkansas.
I want him to be happy. But now I know that you're there. Now I want good for Arkansas.
Thank you.
But ultimately, Mats is in a fantasy league for this, apparently. And he had a friend text him like this weekend being like, dude, you're crushing it. And he was like, wait, crushing what? And then he's like, the fantasy. And he's like, what? And Mats like, I guess like picked and then just like hasn't thought about it since. Hadn't checked, hadn't watched any of the games and like looked. And he's like, I'm dominating. But now he keeps being tempted to check. And I was like, no, babe, you did really well not checking.
Yeah, you can't
shut it
check
off. You
now.
can't check anymore.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I am rooting for him to win because I do think there's money involved.
Great. Love that.
So, you know, I want good for you. I want good for Arizona. I want money more. And I hope that he picked accordingly. So if he wins, we all win.
Yeah. Isn't that the pack we have?
Yes. But I just need to make sure that he was thinking about our pact when picking his fantasy. Because, you know, that might be where he didn't realize that when we win, we all win.
Right.
So
I think he and I actually initially came up with it when we were in Palm Springs and we were buying lottery tickets.
Yeah. And he was like, Megan's stressed out about this. You're like, oh, I know. You know, we'll just take care of her. And he goes, okay, good. You take, yeah, we got it. And you're like, yeah. He's like, perfect. She'll take care of you. We'll take it. We'll just make sure everybody's taken care of. And that's what we do. Well, welcome to But Am I Wrong? This is a podcast where we tell other people when they have been wrong. There are 3 segments to the show. We'll explain each one before we get into it. But what you need to know is that you get to participate in not just submitting things, but also voting on who you think was wrong in each part of this episode. So over on our Instagram stories, we will post highlights for each specific episode with a poll, and you can vote who you thought was wrong. No, I thought this person was wrong. I thought this one was wrong. And then you can also just write in with why you voted the way you did, your thoughts and feelings. And then we read the results of those on our See You Next Tuesday episode. And it's a grand old time. And sometimes we even have people who have written in, writing it again, like giving an update, like answering a question or just, you know, responding to what we have said. And then also sometimes we have updates in the stories have progressed.
I love it. I love following along in a narrative that I don't have to be directly involved in.
I'm addicted to other people's drama.
I need to hear more about the cell phone store saga. I hope you're still listening. We did go a little hard. Not as hard as you did, though.
Melissa, don't say that.
They did go hard.
I know, I don't
they
like
were
that.
Fucking
I know.
hard.
No. No. And they shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been fucking soft. They should. Hey, this is a time where I'm like, actually bring back the puritanical.
If you're new because you were like, oh my gosh, Apple picked them. Apple said they were news and noteworthy.
Yeah, she can speak.
I can speak, but also I think I gave you a little taste of what we're about.
We are. It's horny up in here. So, yeah, I'm Megan.
I'm Melissa.
And if you want to watch this episode, we're also on Patreon. Okay, so our first segment is But Am I Wrong? Where we pitch something that's either happened in our lives or a hot take, a rant to the other and the audience, and find out if we're wrong. I'm up first, and I do think that this is going to be an incredibly hot take. I hope that for people who like initially are like, whoa, no, hear me out.
Okay.
Because, and also listen to all the words I'm saying. Because like there's qualifiers in this.
Okay.
This is not like the biggest, broadest, all-inclusive statement. And this is a hot topic on TikTok right now. So don't assume what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm buckled in,
Okay.
ready to take flight.
I think it is fucking weird and uncalled for when thin people have massive issues with how plus size, bigger, overweight creators handle their platform when it is in regards to their weight. I think it's fucking weird. So Remy Bader is a TikToker who I don't love because she's friends with the bigots, the racists, the Islamophobic, like the girls from the Toast. Like,
I don't know who she is. So
yeah, like
who is she?
She makes had previously made content that blew up at the beginning of the pandemic of like realistic hauls, and she would try them on and being like, oh, this says it's gonna like it doesn't, and like she's like being funny and like making fun of the fact of like what the models are like, free people, like all these layers. And she didn't do, I don't think she did this series, but her content was also very parallel to similar series people are doing of being like, is it a fit or is she just skinny? Of being like, these are ridiculous. The only reason why you think this looks good is because she's thin, and or this is when you make these in bigger sizes, they are not, the ratio of the increase of size makes no fucking sense. It's not going to fit onto a bigger body. You've just increased the wrong things the wrong way. And she has been adamant that she is not a body positivity creator. She's been adamant of being like, I am mentally not doing super well. I don't have a great relationship with my body. I'm not super happy with my body. I don't have body positivity. I would love to be at that point, but I don't. This is just the body that I have, that I'm existing in. And existing in a bigger body is political at this point. Like, and again, I have an issue with thin people doing this. It's not my fucking place to have an issue with plus size people or any identification, fat people, overweight people, plus people who have identified with her through her, not just her content, not people who thin people are like, well, I loved her content. I'm mid-size, I'm a medium. That's not what mid-size means. But people who saw themselves in her content because you are quite literally also dealing with the same issues of buying from the same sizes, all of that. You can have whatever issues and whatever feelings you want to have. That is totally fucking fine. That is your call. That is your fight. But when thin people are like, I don't like her anymore now that she lost weight. I don't think she's funny anymore.
Oh.
That's not the same thing as people who are like, I don't love how she's gone about the representation since this. I don't love that someone who is not positive in their body has now, and this I don't fault her for, but like she got like Victoria's Secret hired her to like expand sizes. And people are like, this is a girl who is like outwardly said she's not happy with her body. There are people her size and bigger who are happy with their bodies, who love their bodies. I think that should be a body positive role model, but people kept pushing this body positivity role model thing on her.
And she's clearly said that that's not
her. And so therefore, she got weight loss surgery. And a lot of people felt very let down because she was supposed to be this body positive influencer. And the people who I'm seeing say this are thin people.
And so that seems like that they were laughing at her before.
That's my issue with it. And it's just the fact of like regurgitating the same talking points when you are not someone who you were not being represented by her. You're like, well, I have body dysmorphia. I felt like that's not, it is fundamentally not the same thing. So like if people are like, I don't love how she didn't really fight for inclusion in sizing and now has, lost all of this weight, has jumped ship from this, and then is kind of abandoned this. And she was kind of that pillar. I, without a doubt, do think she bears a bit of that responsibility. I also think, like, I am not surprised that Victoria's Secret, a company who's like transphobic and fatphobic and just fucking horrible, picked someone to lead their like body positivity who's outwardly said they're not body positive. Like it was going to end at some point. Like she was not happy in her body. She wanted to change that. And that's her right and her prerogative. But I do think brands who aligned themselves with someone who is like that, it does feel temporary. And I would be more annoyed with the brands for being like, why? This is not a long-lasting partnership with someone who this is what they stand by. And I also don't like, in general, when thin people, and it happens a fuck ton, when thin people view people in bigger bodies as inherently body positive. Mm-hmm. Unless someone has made it their platform to assume that, feels very, you're so brave. Like, the fuck?
Yeah. And it's like in the same vein, but also people have been saying the same things to Lizzo, who did promote herself as being body positive. But her thing is like being comfortable in the body that you're in. I'm in a different body. I'm still comfortable in my body.
Yeah. And I think like the industry as a whole, I think part of the issue is that there can be one bigger, specifically women. Mm-hmm. Men are allowed to be big and fun, but women, no, we're going to have one bigger woman. And then when that woman loses weight, we're not going to get another woman in here is bigger. Yeah. She's just a smaller version of who she, so that part I understand is frustrating because when there's so little representation, knowing that it's not going to be continued on is fucking frustrating. Mm-hmm. Very frustrating. And I can, from the sidelines, can hear plus size people say that and be like, I so see that. I so stand with you. But I, as a thin person, am not going to regurgitate the talking point of being like, I liked her content better before. I think she was funnier before because it gives me the same thing as, and here you go, having me defend a man. But like Josh Peck, who has heard his whole career, he was funnier when he was fat. Mm-hmm. And like, he very clearly has an eating disorder. Like, and
was also on drugs.
Like, he has had such an unhealthy relationship with his body and all of those things since, and like maintaining the weight. It is a constant thing he's thinking about. Like, he does not have a healthy body image. And so then to be like, well, I liked you. You can't fucking win at all. And I think like for her, the people who are being like, well, no, I don't have issues with her. My issue is that like she lied about it and she blocked people who were saying what she had done. And she was implying that she, it was just like working out. And I will say like, I did a deep dive on her account last night. And like, I hope that there were not very young children following her. She's like, posting, getting ready to go to a party. Like, she's not making content catered to kids. And I don't know anyone other than a child who would think that this weight had been lost naturally from like posting being in the gym 1 or 2 times. I think that's also like really like narrow-minded about what weight loss surgery is. You have to work out. You have to eat a certain, and being like, well, she's posting eating like healthy food. I'm like, she has to. That is her post-op recovery part. And so then to view that as being like, well, she misled me into thinking that she didn't. I'm like, I truly have a really fucking hard time believing that you thought from this time period, from this video to this video, that she lost that weight naturally, and then you're mad at her. If she lost the weight naturally, she would have been incredibly ill. Mm-hmm. That's a massive amount of weight to lose very, very, very quickly.
And also you can eat healthy food in no matter what body you're in. That still doesn't track.
No, and then the same thing of like, she posted a video eating a donut and people were like, this feels misleading because like she had weight loss surgery. I'm like, people with weight loss surgery can eat a donut.
Yes.
Anyone can eat it.
Yes.
Like
anyone can eat a donut.
And it's just like, again, my issue is this coming from thin people because we do not have that shared experience of losing out on someone who was given opportunities to advocate for us in a room. And she was not equipped to do that. She should have never been given those jobs. But now knowing that that job might be gone, they might not be hiring someone else to do that. That might be kind of gone and past. And she might not stand for advocating for expansive size, all of that. Anyone is allowed to feel abandoned by that. Thin people are not. That is like not our community, not our fucking fight. We can support from the sidelines, but the content I've been seeing people make is real. It's just like really fucking weird. And it reminds me, I saw a clip of Nikki Glaser on a late night show and she was talking about, she was like, I am so happy for people doing Ozempic. Like, and she's like, I have to say though, some of these skinny bitches are not because it's the only thing that they have is thinness and this self-righteousness and this way of being like, well, I'm going to do it the hard way, but I'm like, do you mean the hard way of an eating disorder? Like, there are so many. I'm like so fundamentally not against weight loss surgery at all. Yep. Like, whatever you want to do, whatever you need to do. But this idea that like the healthy way to do it is diet and exercise, that's not a surefire healthy way at fucking all.
Nope.
At fucking all. And like, we're getting so much more information about, I've said this from the beginning, that like there's promising research coming out about Ozempic being really helpful for people with substance abuse disorders and relying on substances, drugs, alcohol, all of that. That like these things are not cheats. There are like intense post-op instructions and things you have to follow in all of this. And if somebody wasn't ready to talk about it, especially someone who has been so insanely criticized for their weight nonstop, my thing is I have a really fucking hard time believing any of these skinny people who have an issue with her being like, I don't like her content anymore. I'm going to bet you were also calling her fat. I'm like, and you were calling her fat, wanting that to hurt her.
It gives the same vibes as like that post that went viral years ago of this woman that was at a track and saw a woman that was bigger than her running. And it was like, if she can do it, I can do it too. It's like you're looking at somebody being like, we're not in the same body. So like things are easier for me.
And it's just, it makes me so icked out. And like she couldn't win. And not being ready to talk about it. If you have issues that she went on Khloe Kardashian's podcast to talk about it, that's fine. But like people being like, oh my God, she blocked people who are being like, you definitely had this surgery. By the way, that's a weird fucking comment just to leave on someone's video that's not about their body, that's not about them talking about like, hey, guess what work I've had done. Like, it's just because someone exists on the internet in a bigger body and like they acknowledge that, because by the way, you can't ignore your body on the internet. You have to talk about it. But if you don't talk about it, other people are like, well, I have to be able to bring it up because like I can see you. But this whole thing of being like, I wasn't being rude. I was just saying you definitely had this surgery.
You also can definitely just not say anything.
And also tell me how that comment is so clear that you are you are body neutral, body positive. You are not fat. Like, let me know how she's supposed to decode that between people who are leaving these other horrendous comments. Like, if you want to say she's too sensitive for the internet, okay, sure. But I think at this point, like having this whole think piece being done about how she was funnier before. Also, people didn't like her content before. Like, it's just like, you can't win.
People just pick. They just pick what they're going to be mad at today about a woman.
Yeah. And I think that like
there are things like you have presented things that you should be mad about. Talk about that. You don't have to talk about somebody's body.
Yes. And you can also just like point blank not like the content that
I've never heard of this person. I don't know anything about her. And you know what? Nothing that you've told me wants me to follow her. So therefore, I won't follow her. No. I don't even remember her name at this point.
Yeah, her content is not for me.
Yeah.
The vibe of the content at any size that she's produced is not for me.
There's so much stuff on the internet that you can find things that make you happy. So why are you constantly looking at someone or having an opinion on someone that you don't enjoy their content?
Yeah. And, you know, she's has not dealt with like great mental health. I think for an extended period of time. I don't know if it's her whole life, but like, you know, got dumped in the last year and like really was like going through it and whatever. And like people who are like, I'm so disappointed in you for like losing weight, like this is just like succumb all of this. I'm like
disappointed.
But she was so deeply unhappy and had specifically said she was super deeply unhappy with her body. That wasn't whatever you view that as improving or changing. She is happier now, and it's her.
And let's say that she was happy. That doesn't mean that she still doesn't have the right to change if she doesn't want to.
Well, and it's not that she's like, she didn't, the exact opposite of getting up on here and being like, I love my body. I wouldn't change a thing about my body. I am incredibly body positive. I never want to lose any weight. I would like, she never, but when you assign that to someone who's a big, like, that's fucking weird to me. When you just assume it is, again, giving like the same thing on the track. Like, you're so brave. Like, you're so brave. But like this idea that you as a thin person felt represented by her is not true. that's not the same argument. Saying you didn't like her content, now you don't like her content. She's not funny anymore. She's not fun to watch anymore. That feels like the people who didn't like Josh Peck after he lost weight being like, he's not funny anymore. And I'm like, but those usually are the same people being like, oh my God, so unhealthy. Look at that kid.
Right.
He's going to get diabetes. And like,
because they were laughing at him.
yeah. And she like talks about also getting the surgery. She did get like, I think they'd do something with like her liver because she had fatty liver. Like she like was having health issues. And like people were always like, lose weight. That'll help your health issues. And she does. And then it's like, you're mad. And yeah, there's a creator I follow named Alexis who's talked about like seldom, but has like mentioned that she's gotten weight loss surgery. And she's like, I'm very fucking selective about how I talk about it because like you bitches are really fucking weird when someone talks about having weight loss surgery. You hate fat people. You want us to be thin, but you hate when we take Ozempic and you fucking hate when we have weight loss surgery. But you also don't want to see us exercising. Like the fucking people who got mad about Nike having a plus size like mannequin. I'm like, what the fuck do you want?
Right. Or when people are making fun of people in the gym for the same reason. They're in the gym.
No,
like
you just view fat people as below you and you need them. You need something there because truthfully, you feel like gutter fucking bottom.
Because you're not happy, you're projecting that on someone else.
Yep. And you have to make sure that they're unhappy. Whatever that means. So whether that is thinking that they are too big, thinking that they are you have to make sure that they are unhappy. And they can't win. And she faces so much fucking scrutiny for all of the wrong things. Scrutinize her for the right things.
That's probably because they have the same views.
Yeah, but then I'm like, moral high ground?
Yeah.
You bitches?
Right.
Oh,
exactly.
okay. Fucking weird.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into my, but am I wrong?
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. There are many ways to entice a potential new customer with flashy branding and calculated marketing strategies. But at the end of the day, the success of a business comes down to the ability to close the sale. And for businesses like Thrive Cosmetics, Allbirds, or Skims, it's what goes on behind the scenes, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple that makes the difference. For them and for millions of businesses, that difference is made with Shopify. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify. Because if your goal is growth, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And Shopify will make sure you're ready. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And with Shop Pay, they boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. It's no wonder Shopify is home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/realm.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
We're back, and it's time for my But Am I Wrong? And mine is normalize talking shit on your workplace and the people you work with if you're in a position to do so.
Ooh. What's this?
Rachel Zegler.
Oh my God, addicted to this.
She has a new movie out called Snow White. I think that's the name of it. Is that the name of it? Yeah. Called Snow White. I didn't know if it had like,
the huntsman Snow White and the doll. Yeah. There's a lot of variations.
Yeah. I didn't know if it had an extra something on it. Most people are saying that she is the star, absolute star of this movie, that like she carries, and seen as Gal Gadot is one of the worst actresses of our time.
I need to find out how this happened.
I don't know. I think because I think it's because Wonder Woman.
No, she was perfect for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she's perfect for Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman is supposed to be this stoic, very
Tyra Banks life-size, brand new day. This is my first day on Earth.
Yes, that type of energy. And that works, but it does not translate into anything else.
Well, I did think she was acting in that movie.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people did.
Yes. But then once we got to the second one, people are like, you've been on Earth for a little bit, so you should have adapted.
Yeah.
And no. Again, Rachel is the star of this movie. I mean, she is a titular character, but also they're just saying like her acting ability, her singing, all of it is phenomenal.
She's the Zoe Saldana of Amelia Pratt.
Do not put that on her.
Have you not seen, people have directly compared that in the articles.
Oh, God.
Yeah, saying that she's the best thing about a horrible project.
Okay, well,
yeah,
I wouldn't make that comparison, but
it's one of those male writers who writes those things.
But Variety, for some reason, Variety as in the trade / magazine / website, they've come out with several articles criticizing her, saying that she's awful and the reason why this movie has bombed was because of her. Why Variety? It seems a little fishy, like someone has planted information. I'm not going to say anybody did, but it just seems fishy to me, where the biggest trade magazine is coming out and saying this information, but no one else agrees.
Have you noticed it's come from the same writer?
I have.
Yeah.
I have him.
Have you noticed what else that writer's also been writing about?
I didn't.
Melissa Barrera.
Seems like they have two things in common.
It does.
So Rachel has spoken out against the atrocities that are happening in Gaza, and she is pro-Palestine, which her co-star is very much the opposite, because that is where she's quote unquote from, but I don't know how exactly from you can be.
I mean, she's not even just, she served in the idea.
Yeah, I mean, you have to though.
But I'm saying it's not that she has family who's from there.
No. She is literally, again,
born and raised
there, but who's to say that's the actual home? But anyway, her co-star is the complete opposite. Also, when people have said that, she needs to take things down, there's also a rumor, I don't know if it's true or not, it's reported that Dear Evan Hansen's dad, who also produced this movie,
also produced Wicked.
Yes, but it's been reported that he got on a plane to go directly to Rachel and say, you need to take down your post.
His son responded to a comment.
So Dear Evan Hansen.
Nope, the other one.
Oh.
I didn't know there was a second.
I didn't know there was another
There's
son.
A second.
Okay.
Dear Richard Hansen. I don't know, whatever his name is. He got on there and he did respond to a comment and said, my father had to leave his children, his family. And I thought, he has a second family? No, he was referring to his fully grown self and his fully grown brother, who is also married. He did have to leave the family home where they all live like the Brady Bunch? Like, I was like, why are you making it sound like...
Maybe they have just a big area of land, but he making it sound like that he had to
flee the nest and abandon the babies who could not fend for themselves.
Right.
And by babies, I did mean fully grown men who have graduated college, who are married.
Yes.
Okay. So he confirmed it, which is the craziest thing to me of all of this, that I was like, damn, your dad couldn't have gotten that PR person that they tried to push on Rachel for you. Oh, he deleted the comment. Everyone screenshotted it. Jonah Platt. He's 38 years old. He called her a narcissist. He said, you really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie, for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid for and do publicity for.
Okay.
This is called adult responsibility and accountability. Her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires and the risk of all of the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on the movie to be successful. That is not fucking true.
No, it's not. Nothing
Above the
about
line
that.
are the only fucking people who make any points on that. Blue-collar workers don't make money when the film is successful.
And they're already on to the next project.
Yeah, they're on this.
They've had like 10 projects since then. Yeah.
And he said narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged, which is hilarious because Gal Gadot has nonstop talked about her specific politics.
Mm-hmm. Nonstop.
And being very pro-genocide in this at the same time.
Yeah. So why aren't we like, they're really trying to place all the blame on Rachel when no, like maybe you should look at if people, I mean, I believe that the stars of Wicked have spoken.
So
about
I've heard like conflicting things, and I don't remember exactly. But there was also another post came out of people being like, it's also been rumored that the lack of like stuff coming out from the Wicked cast or like not like really gung-ho hard has been heavily encouraged by production. I don't know. I don't remember if they ever signed anything or didn't. So like, I don't know if it was like they didn't sign artists for ceasefire, but they also didn't sign the Joe Biden, please keep bombing, please don't ceasefire, the weird alternative one.
I could have sworn that Ariana said something.
But I don't know if it's just that she didn't align herself with one, but then also didn't align with the other, or like hasn't said something, but then signed something. Like, I don't remember. But there's another thing coming about, like saying that they discouraged the cast of Wicked from doing XYZ or whatever. I don't know if any of that's true. Okay. But also also doesn't help that a lot of these people are British.
Yeah, but I swear Ariana said something.
She'd be the one I would have been most likely to think did.
And Wicked did excellent in the box office.
Well, yeah, because you have Cynthia and Ariana.
But my point with all of that is that Wicked didn't bomb. So, like, why are you placing all the blame on her now, post everything, when this movie has been in the works for fucking years?
People also weren't excited before it came out.
Yeah, nobody. Who was like, Snow White is my favorite Disney princess?
No, and apparently the CGI is creepy.
Yeah, like it looks weird. Also, the way that they're positioning it, I know that she's small, so she looks very young, but it looks super creepy it looks really weird. They should have got somebody that looks closer to her age. But no one's like, let me go see the other Snow White movies didn't do well either. Like,
there's never been more remakes than fucking Snow White.
Yes.
And big statement, I don't think anybody's favorite Disney movie is Snow White.
That's what I'm saying. It may be like the oldest one that exists. I believe she's the oldest princess. And yes, she did save Disney at that time. But no one's like, let me go see Snow White. Also, these other movies these other remakes with the Disney movies none of them have done well.
No, I think Maleficent did the best, and tonally, fully different.
But also Maleficent
not well in box office.
Maleficent it did do well in box office, but Maleficent is not the retelling of a story that we've seen before.
It's
Maleficent is a different take. And I've always said that when they redo movies, it should be a different take. Maybe it should have just been based on the Queen and get one of the two women that play at Disneyland and Disney World to play her, because they have range.
Yeah.
Both those, the evil stepmother, evil queen is her name. They have range. Get one of them to play. And you know what? People probably would have showed up. Make it a comedy. People would have showed up to see that. But nobody wants to see the retelling of this boring-ass movie. And also, they set her up for failure from the beginning because they were not defending her when people were like, well, she's Latino, so she shouldn't be playing Snow White, when she is also half white. She looks like Snow White. And if you look at the full description of what Snow White is in the original Grimm people, it's not talking about her skin color when they're calling her Snow White. It's talking about how
pure of heart, right?
Yes, of her purity. and it has nothing to do. And even then, her skin is white.
Yeah. Yeah. It is crazy. And also, like, people are like, well, I didn't like that she said it was like, you know, it wasn't going to be just like the girl and the prince. Every bitch has said that in every fucking Disney princess fucking remake ever. Everybody has said that.
Yeah.
Emma Watson said that. She did not get as much shit. People were like, I loved the Beauty and the Beast remake.
Okay. Is Emma Watson French?
No,
because that's what Belle is.
Yeah, she said all the same shit that Rachel did, and also Rachel said that shit after they said, actually, I think you're not white enough to play this, and she said, you know what, we're changing things up, and people are like, oh, so you hate the classics, and it was like, you literally told her she was not right to play this role because she wasn't white enough, and then she said, this role has shifted and adjusted. We've modernized it. You know, it's going to be different. She's going to have different things in this. And then they were like, no, I just wanted you to, did you just want her recast with someone whiter? Like,
that's what they want. That's what they always want.
Always.
So they're just always looking for another reason to pin it on the lead when something fails, and not pointing it at maybe marketing, maybe the script, maybe production, maybe people clamoring to want to even see this.
Maybe the fact that people have been talking shit about this since it was
day one,
like fucking production. Maybe you should have scrapped it. You had the time to scrap it. Would have been a tax write-off. I would like to add, Ariana Grande she has like liked and reshared Jewish Voices for Peace and like things about Palestine specifically. Yeah. So you're right. I don't want to make sure I speak out of turn for her. I will say I've seen a lot of comments from people being like, oh no, they're going to like blacklist Rachel Zegler. This is horrible. I want to stress so badly, not that blacklisting is not real, but you as an audience can do something about that. You do not have to just like accept that. You can seek all of her content out. If she does an interview, those numbers are undeniable.
Yes.
If you can achieve that, and the same thing with Melissa Barrera, I have seen like the horror community like show the fuck up for her, that you can make someone, it is the internet, you can make someone uncancelable. You can make someone, in the sense, take that same thing. If someone just keeps fucking coming back and coming back, how do they keep coming back? The audience. If the audience is still there, don't let it being like, well, she's not cast in anything. Fine. Make sure you're following her on Instagram. Swipe up on her stories, like things, reply, engage to things that she's posting. Her YouTube channel. Make it so like they literally will boil down actors, everybody, to the numbers of their stats of what their draw is, and make sure that you don't stop paying attention to her and you seek her out, not just the stuff that's put on your fucking feed. Because like they will keep hiring her, because at the end of the day, they care most about the money that they will make. And but what they want to do now is make you hate her, so you stop supporting her. So the people signing the checks will be like, we're not going to cast her, because it's a team vote. And if you have enough people being like, undeniably, they are going to bring in a fuck ton of money for this. Your vote of saying, not you, but like Mark Platt's vote of saying, I don't want her there. If she has the most draw, the most reach, is right for the character, the director's vouching for all of that stuff, he will be overruled and she will be cast in X, Y, and Z.
So.
I just love that, like, this is the power when your first movie is a Spielberg movie and you're like, fuck it, I'm still gonna fucking say it.
Also, I'm pissed, like, even
I know everything she's doing, it's getting,
because
fucking men.
Fucking man.
Yeah, men are ruining that experience.
So in case you didn't know, her first big movie was West Side Story.
Yeah.
And the fucking man, I don't even want to say his name, but the fucking man that is her lead in that,
yeah,
he was abusive. And therefore people didn't go see, I mean, it was also during COVID too, but like people didn't see that movie, bombed because a lot of people were boycotting because of him. And I just feel like she deserves more.
Yeah. And I have to say, I wish this wasn't happening to her, but it's happening to her at the best point of her career, because the tenacity and the bounce back you have at that age when you first start off in Hollywood, like, she's got the balls to do, she's got the tits to do it. She's got the, like, I'm gonna fucking
and
do it.
And she is standing on business, believing in what she believes in, and that's gonna take her far.
Yeah. So just support her. And I think she's like, I just think she's incredibly fucking talented. Incredibly talented. And I think she is uncancelable, and she knows that, because she knows her worth. And like, even like Trisha Paytas had like talked and been like, she didn't like what she said about the Snow White thing and like didn't like her or whatever. And then like after a while, Trisha was like, I think I'm just really jealous of her. And like, I used to watch her stuff on YouTube, and I was a big fan of her when she was just like posting covers on YouTube. And then when she, booked West Side Story, I was so excited and I like really loved her. And then I don't know, I just think I got really jealous of how quickly her career rose. And she goes, and like, I'm just like really sorry, Rachel. Rachel fucking commented on the video and was like, thank you so much for this, Trisha. I forgive you. And then Trisha did her live New York show and Rachel did it with her.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And
so like, the thing is like the right people who she's supposed to work with, they're going to cast her in things because they know that she is a star.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait for her to be connected with the right people. And then we can all show up to the box office and support her in the way that she needs to be done. But in the meantime, do what Meghan said and follow her, like her comments, repost, because those numbers do matter.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing that you do with a boycott, where it's like, don't support things, even hate watching, that like falsely give people the sense of, oh, these people should keep working. But then you can do that on the opposite of, instead of boycotting, you can visually show your support, not just passively engage with that content.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love her. And voice of a fucking angel.
She is an angel.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take another break. And when we get back, we'll get into But Are You Wrong?
Hey, what's up? It's Wanda Sykes. I'm here to remind you about something super important, getting your breast screened. Because trust me, your breast health should be a priority. Early detection for breast cancer can change the game, which is why you should visit yourattentionplease.com to learn more. And do me a favor, if you've already had a breast cancer screening, remind your friends and family to visit yourattentionplease.com too. We gotta look out for our girls.
5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park. Get ready to explore the all-new Universal Epic Universe, featuring the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and Dark Universe. Epic Universe opens May 22nd at Universal Orlando Resort. Our universe will never be the same. Tickets and packages on sale now at universalorlando.com.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
We're back from the break, and it's time to get into our next segment, which is But Are You Wrong? And this is where you submit your predicament that you have found yourself in, your thought spiral. Am I in the wrong? You tell us the situation, and we let you know. So you have to be 18 or over, have your parents' permission, and just let us know how old you are. It is all anonymous. Tell us a story, 300 words to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com, or send it to our DMs. We have a form for this one too, don't we?
We sure do.
And that's on our Instagram too.
Yes, and make sure that you are submitting to the right show. So if you asking for advice, use only the Don't Blame Me form. If you want to know if you're wrong, only But Am I Wrong?
And just know, if you're going to come up with fake names, put some thought into it. Our audience went Google Gaga over the Ninja Turtles crossover Powerpuff Girls. But sometimes people do things that they don't think it through as well. And we do wonder, if we're supposed to be reading into this, why are Monica and Ross dating?
Yes.
Those are siblings. And your friend Phoebe. Okay, yeah, this is incest. So, first up, I fear my best friend married a Trump supporter. Kelly, 28, she, her, and I, 30, she, her, have been best friends for the past 8 years. She has always been such a kind, fun-loving, genuine person. We've always been on the same page and the same political beliefs. She was the most understanding, non-judgmental friend I could go to for anything. Kelly met Rick on a dating app last January. They got engaged in June and got married in December of 2024. I live about 2 hours away from Kelly, so I only met Rick a handful of times before they got married. My first impression of Rick was that he was very reserved and hard to talk to. I couldn't shake this weird feeling that I had about him. Kelly seemed so happy and so excited about their relationship, so I brushed it off and decided to support her. I started to notice how he would react when we brought up politics and how much we hate Trump. He seemed annoyed, but never actually said anything. The biggest red flag was when I saw them tagged in family photos by his mom. Rick and his dad were wearing Blue Lives Matter hats. I brought this up to Kelly, and she shamefully admitted that he voted for Trump and that he does whatever his parents tell him to do. She feels confident that she can change his mind, and she loves him so much that she can't imagine a life without him. I told her that I couldn't be around someone who supports all of the things I am against. We haven't talked in 3 months. I feel like she's completely changed and compromised her beliefs for this guy. Am I wrong for ending a friendship over her husband's political views?
No.
No, and you're also not wrong in the fact that she did completely change herself and compromise her beliefs for a guy.
Yeah. And why would you think you can change somebody after you married
Marriage? What's the leverage?
You should never go into a relationship trying to change anyone to begin with, but now you're married.
He got the cookie. Give me cookie, gave you cookie. Like,
right.
And the cookie in this case is your political affiliate. Like, what's the incentive for him? Now that we're married and we're legally, and our debts are legally bound together, I'm going to convince him.
I'm sorry, but Kelly is dumb and you're better off without her.
Yeah. I wonder how much that you have felt, how much of she's co-signed your belief system and been like, yeah, totally, I agree with you. And so you felt that she actually meant, yeah, totally, I agree with you. Sometimes those people will then be in a room with someone else with the exact opposite beliefs. They're like, yeah, totally, I agree with you. It might not have come from her.
Yeah.
Because as someone who also has very strongly held political beliefs, I wouldn't even go on a date with, I would find out before the date. And then I would, if I was misled, I'd find it on the date.
Right. Even before I go on the date.
That's what I mean.
If I'm on a fucking dating app and no, they don't even have their political views listed, or it says not political, not for me.
Moderate, nope, I'm out. But like, if they have lied to me and been like, yeah, no, I'm liberal, I'm still gonna, or if they say that they're liberal, I'm still gonna bring it up on the first date, even if they say that we are the same belief system, we're still aligned. I'm gonna bring it up, I'm gonna read your face, I'm gonna figure this out. But like, if it was actually important to her, this would have never gotten to the point where she's like, well, I love him. You shouldn't love him yet then.
No.
Like, this needed to have happened way earlier. So I don't think that she held these beliefs.
Nope.
That same way.
There's no dick strong enough to change your political beliefs in this way.
Also, met in January, engaged in June.
She didn't even know him.
No. And to me, with a little bit of disrespect, it smells desperate. Like, and that to me is like, there's no shot that you're going to, I don't think it mattered about who the guy was.
No. I can't love a Republican.
No. No. I don't, like.
No. In this day and age, no.
I couldn't even get married to someone who I loved and was aligned with politically in like less than 6 months-ish?
And
January.
you're 28?
5 months.
No.
Why are you proposing to me within 5 months and we're only 28? If we're in our 30s and we know we're really, I'm 28, you proposed to me in 5 months? Why are you proposing? What's wrong with you? Why are you proposing to me? Like, what do you have to, why are you trying to get me? Do you have debt? Do you need me to help pay it? Like,
right.
You just can't know enough about someone because you also don't know enough about yourself at that age. No, you're not wrong.
Also, they were together fully almost a year and he voted for Trump in November. So like she had 11 months to change his mind within that period.
But also, she was I would never take a photo with someone in Blue Lives Matter.
No.
Even if they were like, it was a friend of a friend of a friend of a cousin there.
No. I don't want to be in that picture.
No, I'm not. No. So like, I think she's far more okay with this than you probably realize.
All right. Next one. Hey guys, I'm 25, she, her. I work at a senior living facility that is literally all white residents. Just so happens that it's in a predominantly white town and super expensive, like over $10K a month expensive. Anyway, I'm Black, and every time I wear my hair different, they all comment on it the entire day. For example, I never wear my hair out, and when I do, it's like all eyes on me, and it's constantly pointed out. Lots of...
We literally read this before, and I made Melissa do it in an old voice, and you have to do it again, because it's important to the story.
Every time I see her hair, it's different.
Oh, honey. Oh, sweetheart.
I don't know why it annoys me so much because I don't like being perceived. and it feels racially motivated. Not necessarily rude, but annoying. Am I wrong or too sensitive about it? This is a microaggression. You're not wrong. I'm surprised they're like, oh, I didn't recognize you when my face literally looks the exact same. Like, they know what they're doing. They want to point you out and other you, and that's what they're doing. Yeah.
As someone who had a grandmother who, as her health declined, she had Lewy body dementia. I think setting strong boundaries for like what you're not comfortable with. I don't know what the level of care this place gives, but there are sometimes in these facilities, they ask people to be fine with horrific things that people say. And this is without a doubt a microaggression that, depending on the state of these people, can lead very rapidly to macro aggressions.
I feel like because of the price and you saying that it is a senior living facility and not like a nursing home, that this is just old rich people living there.
Is there a difference?
Yeah. Because there's the just old people communities where they're like, I don't want to live in a house by myself, but I'll go live in this community where I basically have like a condo.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I didn't know there was a difference.
I feel like because these are just rich old white people who are know what they're doing and they're being mean.
No, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I just meant like if you have a boss or a superior, like making sure to tell them, being like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. I need to switch rotations with this person X, Y, and Z, because if it is anything involving cognitive decline, I watched someone who I love become I don't want to say become, because that was not who I had never heard her say anything like that before, but like I heard her say horrible things. And that, in terms of like, sometimes with caretaker, they're like, this is just a part of it. And you should not have to subject yourself to that. So making sure, if it is something like that, setting the boundary now with your boss. So it's not like, well, you've been working with them for so long. And it's like, hey, this is not a cognitive shift. This is who they are.
Yeah.
And it's probably only going to, if it is going to get fucking worse. And it should never be a part of your job, or like, well, that's just what you deal with. Like, no. I don't care that, like, for a lot of people with Alzheimer's, I can't say the word, Alzheimer's, that they can become like horribly mean, aggressive, racist people. Then I do need you to hire white people to work with them. And so I was like, well, you work in like an elder care facility. Nope.
You don't have to accept this.
Nope. This is not like an aspect of this.
No.
Because by the way, Black people also get old.
Yep. So they should have somebody, because I don't think this is a nursing home situation. They should have somebody come in that does. I know DI is getting taken out of so many places, but like somebody that comes in and does a speech about, this is what you're doing. This is a microaggression and you need to stop that shit. And it shouldn't come from you. You should tell a supervisor, but you shouldn't be the one that's doing unpaid labor to teach them. No, not at all. It needs to be somebody that is getting paid to come in and tell them, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And make sure that they do. Not just a one time, like one of that. And if they make it weird, then they need to switch the rotation of whatever.
Or if this is just a place where people are living, they need to kick them out.
Yeah. No, this is not a part of the fucking deal.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
All right, we're going to take another break, and when we get back, we'll get into, but are they wrong?
Get ready for Netflix's gripping new medical drama, Pulse. Set in a cutting-edge Miami trauma center, third-year resident Dr. Danny Sims is unexpectedly thrust into a promotion when beloved chief resident Dr. Xander Phillips gets suspended. Then, with the emotional and physical stakes at their highest, a storm will push the hospital and its residents to their limits. Witness how life can change in a heartbeat when you're operating under pressure. Watch Pulse April 3rd, only on Netflix.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, onabotulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
At Patron, we craft our tequila using high-quality natural ingredients without additives. No sweeteners, no extracts, no secrets. In fact, Patron's secret ingredient is that we have no secret ingredients. Just 100% additive-free tequila, made with 100% Weber Blue Agave, water, and thyme. Patron, 100% additive-free tequila. Visit patrontequila.com to learn more. The perfect way to enjoy Patron is responsibly. Copyright 2025, imported by Patron Spirits Company, Coral Gables, Florida. Tequila 40% ABV.
We are back. It's time for But Are They Wrong? But Are They Wrong is where we nominate a person, place, or thing, something in current events, pop culture, zeitgeist that we think deserves a public toss of tomatoes. And mine is a little less newsworthy. It's a little bit more of a complaint and a rant that I have. And I would like to nominate Bachelor in Paradise. Melissa?
I don't know anything that's going on. I honestly forgot about the Bachelor franchise as a whole.
I hope to God by the time that this comes out that they have changed this, because I literally was like, is it? I thought it was April Fool's when I saw this. I was like, this can't be fucking real. So they're skipping the season of The Bachelorette because they're like, unfortunately, every time we do The Bachelor, they didn't say this is the truth. Fortunately, every time we do The Bachelorette, we just keep having abusive men and racists on the show. And despite our thorough background checks that reveal all of that, we do cast them anyways. And then they end up being horrible to these women. And then all of these people message us and talk about how they were assaulted by this person and this person is super horrible and racist. And then, we're traumatizing the leads. And I think it's just a lot more fun when let's just have it be about the men. Like, we're just going to do The Bachelor. So they skipped The Bachelorette. And this is off the tails of Jen Tran's season where the guys were horrible to her. And like they had misled them thinking it was going to be a different girl. And then the whole time they just kept telling her that was going to be a different girl. And she wasn't usually their type. They usually like the other girl who is a white blonde woman. And I'm like, oh, very nice. Very cool. Very cool. And they were like, we'll make it. They just keep thinking, we'll put you on Dancing with the Stars. That'll make up for it. She's dating her partner. So like slightly better, but like stop.
Yeah.
And they also skipped Bachelor in Paradise, which I would say is one that people liked a lot more, where it's like different seasons. They bring all the single people on. And it's I think, as far as I know, one of the more successful. The Bachelor is not that successful. The Bachelorette is more successful in like picking and being with that person for a long time. But Bachelor in Paradise has made a hell of a lot of couples from that because it's just more people.
Yeah.
And they announced that Bachelor in Paradise is back. Still no Bachelorette. They're going to do Bachelor in Paradise. And they're combining it with the Golden Bachelor.
Ew.
Yes.
Ew.
I know.
Yuck.
I thought it had to be a joke. Ugh. There is no outcome in which this is okay. First of all, there's just creepy men there where all these young girls are in bathing suits. Second of all, or are you going to be like, let's have Lisa give Jade some dating advice. And then you're making these women who are 55 be like, it's like you're her grandmother. I'm like, they are 20 years apart. Like, she's not like, it's either weird and fucking age shamey or also just pervy. Because like, I know for a fact you're going to make some insinuations that like, what if one of the guys is interested in one of the young girls or one of the young, like, ew. And also get these old people off the beach.
I thought that show where they were like, the
MILF
one
Manor?
where, yes, that one where they were like their sons were there. No, like this is worse.
This is the part that really makes me. I mean, it's all fucking gross. But the people who nominated, or submitted for Golden Bachelor's only had 1 season, 2 seasons, like something very.
One, I think they're coming back with the second one.
But the people who the people are fucking randos who they nominated, and you know who nominated them? fans of the series who nominated their parents, and they're going to get there. They love the show, and they're going to watch.
But it's gonna
their peers.
It's gonna be all old women then, because the Bachelor, like it was the Bachelor, like Golden Bachelor was.
It's a woman this time, so they've had one season of a man that already happened. And I think the new Golden Bachelorette is a woman.
I know that, but like it hasn't aired yet, so why would they be invited?
They spoil it, and they have all the people that they do that all the time. They're like, and everyone's like, so they clearly didn't end up together because they're on Paradise, and like
I'm traumatized, Megan.
No. Me fucking
I can't
too.
believe I haven't. Actually, I can because except for my one friend that was on The Bachelorette, I block everyone out.
No, I don't know why more people aren't talking about. Like, I'm like, you guys are perverts. Like, this is. You're going to be like, women aren't interesting enough. Let's get all the old people. Like, this is getting really fucking weird. And like, let me take in mind that they also like will put black boxes over their butts if they think their bikinis are like too like sexual. Like. Where are we going here? Are we doing weird puritanical values, or are you doing massive age gaps? And like, they have to like, they do the nighttime ceremonies usually like at 3 a.m. and you're standing for a long time. What if they have osteoporosis, which by the way, doesn't discriminate on age, but like, and you're making them sleep with no AC on these, what if they have a CPAP machine? Like, it's just fucking weird and gross.
Megan, I'm so disgusted. And I'm so sad that you've brought this to my attention.
Me too. And I just like, I specifically feel so fucking bad for the women on this, the young women on this show, because
I also feel bad for the old women.
I was gonna say, but like the idea that like, I can't have my ass out because Peepaw is here. And then if it's not going to be creepy, then I feel also bad for the older women because they're going to be like, oh, Mother Goose. And it's like, this is a 50-year-old woman. She's not even retired. And they're like, oh.
Like, that's younger than my mom.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like, what? Who thought this was a good idea?
ABC is getting desperate.
And
if you're getting desperate, bring back Desperate Housewives.
Like, script a show like this.
Yes.
Don't have real people go there and do this. And like, there are people who have been on the Bachelor franchise who nominated their parents. Imagine they're on the fucking same season.
I hate this, Megan.
I know.
Well, mine's dark.
Okay. Well, maybe you should have gone first.
Okay, here's mine. All right, so my nomination is Dr. Gerhardt Konig. So picture this, you're in Hawaii. And then you have this incident at a lookout, a place that's supposed to be so beautiful. And then your husband, a doctor, anesthesiologist, is like, let's take a picture. And you're like, no, thank you. And so he hits you over the head and then pushes you over the lookout, trying to kill you. And he also had syringes with medications in it and poked you with it.
This is like a Criminal Minds episode.
Yes. And so luckily his wife survived.
Holy shit.
She was hospitalized, and he can't even say like it was an accident because she survived and she can tell exactly what happened.
She's a nuclear engineer.
I was about to say that.
Holy shit.
She's a nuclear engineer. He also goes on the run. They put out a police bulletin, and then they finally find him. They're holding him for a $5 million bond, and he gets charged. He's a doctor. His whole thing is supposed to be saving people's lives. And he hits his wife again because she wouldn't take it. He claims it was because she wouldn't take a picture with him. But like, clearly he had planned this. You don't, in the heat of the moment, carry around a syringe of medication, poke her, hit her over the head numerous times with a rock, and then push her over the outlook because she doesn't want to take a picture. He also tried to cover it up. And I just want to remind people, domestic violence is real, and you can't trust the person you're sharing a bed with, the person that's supposed to love you. You're supposed to be out on a romantic stroll together. And he planned your murder and then goes on the run, and they have to find him. There's still a lot of details that are coming out about what happened because this just happened this week. So I will be following this, but Fuck him. What a fucking psycho.
Yeah. No, what a fucking psycho. An anesthesiologist, that's the scariest part to me.
It is because
it's like
they control everything, and they have to be so strategic, and the math has to be exactly right. They know how to dose you to make it look like an accident.
Yeah, like people talk about like there's such a specific personality type of anesthesiologist because like it is not like any personality can get it. It's like a really specific.
You have to be so focused.
Yeah,
and you sit there for hours during surgeries just monitoring what's going on,
and being cool, having that level of responsibility that's not like it's not checked in the same way a lot of other things are. Like that is your sole responsibility, and it's like such a fucking hard field to get into. Like it's just so crazy. It does say that they're unsure if they have kids together, but it does seem like he is known to have 2 children from a previous marriage. And I wonder what that his ex will say to this.
Yeah.
I gotta say too, trying to do this in Hawaii.
That's where they live.
An anesthesiologist in Hawaii?
That's why I said they were like out on a stroll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is just, there are so many just like incredibly culturally like sacred, like the island, like Hawaii, all of the islands stuff, like, incredibly culturally significant and sacred. I also wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the reason why she survived.
Yeah.
That like, that's, you know, that's wild. He looks exactly like you'd expect, by the way, everybody.
A little twerp.
She's gorgeous. He
is a twerp.
Is exactly like you'd suspect. Wow. I can't believe people didn't see it happen. Do you know what I mean?
It could have been like there's so many remote trails, and if you live there, then you know like where to go.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a pretty like
the lookout
popular.
Yes.
But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it was a specific spot. They're just saying the lookout point, but it was probably like a step along the way. Wow.
So I'm so glad she survived and was able to tell her story.
Yeah.
And then he can't go back and treat people.
No, he has been fired.
Yes. But like if she hadn't survived, they would have just like put him on leave for a while.
Oh yeah. They loved doing
and
that.
Been like, okay, you know, you need to deal with your mourning. Like they wouldn't have known that he tried to kill her.
Holy fuck.
Thank you so much for listening.
On that note, anything else fun we should say?
We've got merch coming.
Another YouTuber was arrested.
Who?
I don't know.
Was it that one that's like faking that he's having a psychotic break, saying that he's too famous and he will be fine? That one?
Sure. I don't know if he's faking a psychotic break. Is that what he's saying? He's saying he's mentally stable, and he's saying that they're trying to claim he's had.
I think he's trying to do watching
reverse
the video.
Psychology.
Yes, I think he's trying to do reverse psychology.
Where his lawyer's saying it's a psychotic break. He goes, "It's not a psychotic break."
Yes, because the video, it's bad acting.
No, it like really is.
And like it's not. It's really bad acting.
I feel bad. He kind of looks like one of those guys who does the Frisbee trick shots, and I know it's not him. But like, if I was that guy who did those Frisbee videos, I'd be like, Can you not? We look a little too much alike for you to be doing this and then being a famous YouTuber. And they were like, at first it was like, oh, he attempted murder on a police officer. And I was like, okay, police officers, if you cough in their general direction, attempted murder. And then when I read that he ran him over with his car, I was like, oh.
It seems like a point of privilege to me, and he thought he was going to get away with it.
Well, Mott's and I were talking about this because we were in Glendale, and we saw like Glendale PD, and they were like and Mott's was like, they are always just looking for something. Like all they fucking do is DUI checkpoints. There's nothing for them to do. It was like middle of the week night. I forget where you were. And we like saw them. Mott's like, yeah, I actually haven't seen a DUI checkpoint in a while. And I was talking about, I was like, you know what's crazy to me is DUI checkpoints are like very effective. But like to this day, still, we will see videos of predominant people like who work in politics who are literally just speed off and then be shocked when they're followed. And I'm like, do you not think that that's a worse charge than like blowing and getting a DUI or a wet reckless or something like that? That like people will do anything to avoid going through a DUI checkpoint. And then said they're like, I'm going to actually attempt to murder someone.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Maybe he should have been into Frisbee.
Maybe
he needed to. Yeah.
They're more zen.
Yeah. Unless they play Ultimate Frisbee. That's not zen. It's very ultimate.
Yeah.
Anyways, play Frisbee. Catch it.
Yeah.
Toss it.
Go to therapy. If you don't like your spouse, divorce them.
Yeah. Yeah. And never trust a man.
Yeah.
Because your husband is the person who's most likely to kill you.
Not just husband, but domestic partner.
Ask yourself, who is this man in my house? So that's it for our episode. We hope you enjoyed. As always, you can check us out on Patreon. Just support the show that way. Or you can listen ad-free or watch the video version. See our beautiful, gorgeous faces. We also do live streams twice a month. Meet some new people. Hang out. It is very lax, very casual, very chill. We have new people quite literally every time we do it. So you will not be the only new person there. Everybody's very friendly. And I always recommend it if you have like moved or you have like a change in your stage of life. We have people quite literally across the globe. Someone will find you a friend that might be them and they'll ask you to like hang out within the coming days.
Yeah. People have been hanging out a lot
recently.
Glad to see it.
Well, submit in for nominations you would like us to talk about for Wrong of the Week.
But are you wrong?
We've got the form. Send it to the email, butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. Follow us on our socials and vote on who you think was wrong in this episode. Make sure you follow the Instagram so you can see that story.
Join us tomorrow for See You Next Tuesday. Wednesday is your catch-up day. Thursday, Don't Blame Me. Friday, Fisting Friday. And we'll be back on Monday for another But Am I Wrong? We will circle back.
Bye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
What's up, fellow TV watchers? It's Brian from The Core Podcast, where we cover all things Apple TV+. We are wrapping up our recaps of Emmy favorite Severance, but 2025 on Apple TV Plus is just getting started. In April and May, The Core is recapping Seth Rogen's new Hollywood satire, The Studio, and Jon Hamm's dark comedy, Your Friends and Neighbors. We'll also be recapping the first 2 seasons of Apple's sci-fi thriller, Foundation, heading into the 3rd season of that later this year. Search for The Core, all things Apple TV Plus, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.